Welcome to Aquarian Diary, where we discuss issues around the emerging age of Aquarius. I'm your host, John Irving. Thank you for joining me. Greetings all, it is October 23rd, 2022. I'm recording another short episode, which was prompted by the first comment posted on my previous episode, which is titled The Spirituality of Effortless Being. Now, the person who made this comment is a wonderful subscriber of mine. She posts many excellent comments, but I didn't get her permission to state her name. So I will pin her comment under the Spirituality of Effortless Being episode. If you're curious, you can check that out. And her comment drew to my attention the fact that I had used the word realization, assuming that everyone would know what that means. But that may not be true. So let me define what that means. First of all, a spiritual realization is not the same thing as a thought or conclusion that you would arrive at rationally. Let's say you decide to buy a silver car instead of a black one. That's not a realization. A spiritual realization is a very deep, profound, and moving experience. One has a deep knowing, and you can sense this knowing, and it can be very powerful and almost overwhelming because there is this awareness that this knowing is extremely important and can change everything, potentially. Now, people who have had a realization will know what I mean. If you haven't, I can assure you that at some point on your journey you will. You will have this experience. And they can be very powerful, like I said, such that this new awareness changes everything. It's not quite the same as a paradigm shift, which I have done an episode about. It's a bit different because it tends to be more focused on a single point or single question or single understanding. An understanding that has very broad implications. But it's not your entire worldview we're talking about here. Nonetheless, like I said, these can be very significant events. Now, I can't actually think of how many realizations I have had in my lifetime. I would really have to contemplate that. But I have had a few for sure. And the one I discussed in my last episode, for example, I remember that experience very clearly and vividly. It'll probably never leave my mind, in this lifetime at least. If I reflect back on it, I can remember what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I was doing, what I was sensing. Because when I had the realization, I knew it was extremely important and significant. And I'm not even 100% sure of where it came from. It probably came from my higher self or some spiritual dimension of myself that is not typically present in material reality. I have wondered whether maybe it's a spiritual state we have achieved in a past lifetime or through past experience that comes back to us at a particular point in time in this life, because a lot of our awareness and memories are wiped when we reincarnate. It kind of has that feel to it sometimes. That would make a lot of sense in the context of the previous episode I published, where I described a realization I had when I was only 17 years old. So it's not just a download, and it's not just an intellectual conclusion or idea. It is much more significant than that. So if I keep talking, I'm probably just going to confuse you. But the main point to realize, but the main point to know is that it is not a common experience, typically. It's quite rare. And I would suspect that some people go through an entire lifetime never having a realization. They may not go through any significant changes or dramatic evolution in the course of a lifetime, which would necessitate or facilitate a realization. I hope that helps, and I hope it doesn't confuse matters. But like I said, it's important to realize that a realization is not a daily kind of experience. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.